Welcome to another installment of Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. I'm recording with my cell phone for now since the other camera died and I haven't set the new one up yet, but I will do that shortly. This only records at 720 at the lowest, so that's what you get. And this one is entitled, As Long as It Doesn't Inconvenience Me, It's Fine. Italians are causing so many issues with the Buick. It's really bothering me. Couple of weeks ago, I had to take the Buick out in the morning. It was 7 in the morning maybe, and they have their bedroom on the first floor. I don't know why, that's retarded. First of all, if somebody's breaking in, if you're upstairs, at least you could lock yourself in there and hide, and there's less of a chance they're going up there. Number two, the reason we have our bedroom upstairs is because there was an alarm keypad there, and it's good to know that it's there in case the alarm goes off in the middle of the night or anything like that, that you'd know what zone, what happened, if the fire alarm went off or anything, whatever it is. So early that morning, a month or two ago, I take the Buick out. I come back later on, and the wife is outside, and she says, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, good, good. Listen, I just wanted to mention," she was really nice about it, and she said, "This morning, you were. I really love the car and all, the old car, but this morning, it was really early." And you started it up and you were revving it. And I said, no, actually I wasn't. See, this is an old car, and your husband has one. It has something called the carburetor. You probably remember that from back in the day. She's got to be in her late 50s, early 60s, so obviously she remembers that. And when you start a carbureted car, it goes to fast idle. Well, when you got a big honking V8 behind that, and it's cold, it's loud. And the fence and the house, and it reverberates off of that, and she's got her windows open. She's like, "Yeah, it was really loud and you were revving it." I said, "I was not revving it." Okay, the car goes to fast idle. That's what it's supposed to do. It's designed to do that, and you should know that because your husband's car is supposed to do that as well. That's normal for it. Okay, so I can't make it not do that, because then it's not going to run right. It's supposed to do that. I wasn't revving it. If I was revving it, you'd hear vroom, 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 but I wasn't doing that. I let it run at fast idle for a minute or so, which is what you're supposed to do. You kick it down, one vroom, and that's it, and then it goes down to low idle and normal idle, and then I took off, and that was it. I said it was one day, one time. I had to take this car out this morning. "Oh, okay. I just wanted to mention, no problem, nothing, blah blah blah," and that was that. Of course, at the time, I had groceries and stuff in the trunk. I was taken out, so now I got to put them on the ground and talk to her for 10 minutes, and do that. So fast forward to, maybe a week ago or so, and I had the Buick out, and I came back, and I had to put some oil in it because it leaks or burns or whatever it is. So, I checked the level regularly, and I knew it was getting to be about time, and this day happened to be the time. So I get the oil, I get the funnel, I get everything, and I check the level, I know how much to put in, and I go and I pour the oil in, and the engine is still warm or hot anyway. So I said, well, let me just start it and let it run for a couple of minutes, just get the new oil circulating and that, just whatever. And meanwhile, I do that from time to time, and I just sort of poke around under the hood, just inspect everything. Is this leaking? Is that leaking? Why is that this way? Maybe that's supposed to go, and just keep, thinking about how the car was supposed to be until it was modified, or whatever you want to say. I was just poking around there. Meanwhile, the wife happened to come home at that very moment And I said, oh, her car needs some oil also because that leaks. So I went and I got another bottle of oil from the garage, and I went over to her car. On the way, I started the Buick. It's running, it's idling, it's getting the new oil circulating. I go and I pour the oil in her car, and that's doing its thing. And she goes in the house. I finish up with her car. Meanwhile, I cleaned up all the rags and the funnel and the bottles and everything. And I'm just poking around under the hood of the Buick, and it's running. And it's just idling. Just regular, plain, warm idle. And this Italian comes out of his house, and he comes at me like a fucking bull in a china shop. He says to me, did my wife not have a conversation with you about running a car? I said, I'm sorry, what? My wife talked to you about the car. I said, what about it? The exhaust comes in the house. Well, you got your windows open. Listen, I'm painting upstairs, and I can smell it up there. I can't, this is ridiculous. Why are you running the car? I said, this is my car. I'm working on it. It's in my yard. I'm doing what I'm allowed to do. Well, I can smell it upstairs. And the noise on top of that. I didn't get into the circular saws and the chop saws and the log splitter and the chipper for limbs that you take down from trees on my birthday or the 4th of July. I didn't say anything about that. That's fine. But as soon as it inconveniences him, now it's a problem. You know, I'm being the nice guy. I don't say anything about the noise. I don't do anything because his temper's going to flare if I say something. So I didn't want to make a scene or do anything. But as soon as this slightly, ever so slightly, inconveniences him, now it's a problem. And if you come at me like a bull in a china shop, I'm going to be an asshole. Okay? It's that simple. If he came up to me and he says, hey, how you doing? Oh, you looking at your car? What's going on? Oh, no, I'm just checking the spark plugs, checking the oil, whatever. Oh, listen, I just wanted to mention, this car, you know, the smell from the exhaust, I'm upstairs and I can smell it up there. And I would have said, well, you could close the windows. But it didn't even get that far. He said he was painting upstairs, so I understand the fumes from the paint you want to get out, but he's saying he's smelling the exhaust. But even so, it's like, could you imagine this guy on the road? He pulls up behind a diesel truck that's spewing out black smoke. And it's a nice day, so he's got the windows down in his car. Fine, okay? So he rolls up behind a truck, stale red light, and the smell of the diesel smoke is getting in his car. So what would he do? He'd throw it in park, get out. Meanwhile, now the light goes green. He flags down the truck driver and says, oh, sir, excuse me. The smell from the exhaust of your truck is getting in my car. Can you shut your truck off at a red light? Because it's very disturbing to me. I don't like smelling that. Holding up traffic, horns are honking. What the fuck? What is this? What is this? As soon as it inconveniences him, it's a problem. But he can do anything he likes at all hours of the day and night to inconvenience everybody else. So, I thought of a few choice words. I haven't had to use any yet. One was, close your windows. That was one. The other one was, you know, I just got back from the doctor and I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Okay? I have 6 months to live. This was my last joy in the entire world. Thanks for ruining the rest of my life. How would that make you feel? I can dish it right back out. And the other one I thought of, which is I think the one I'm going to use because it's the most benign, is, oh, well, guess what? I just got a new job and I have to be there at 7 a.m. So Every morning, I'm going to be leaving at about 6:15. And this car is now my daily driver, so get used to it. What's he going to do? I'm not breaking any laws. The car is on my property. It's allowed to be parked where it is. I looked up the laws. There's no law against that or any problem. I'm well within my rights to have my car on my property, legal, licensed, insured, and have it sit there running. Now, I don't make a habit out of this. I mean, it only gets 5 miles to the gallon. So, if I run it for an hour, I already, use half a gas tank. I just filled it up today. It was like $65 or something like that because the price of gas went up from Hurricane Harvey and Irma and whatever all these other ones are now, which didn't hurt the pipeline at all, but now the prices went way up just because, But it really bothers me that as soon as it's an inconvenience to him, now it's a big to-do. But he's allowed to inconvenience everybody else out there. So while this is not really an old war story, it's certainly one under my belt. And it's pending. It's there, and, it will be addressed in the future if he comes up to me again. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is he says, why don't you turn the car around? I have it backed in, as you've likely seen, and that points the exhaust toward the house. If I were you, I would turn the car around. Why don't you turn it around? I said, well, if you ask me nicely, maybe next time I will. It's that easy. He says, what do you mean next time? I said, I'm not moving the car. It's here, where it is, and I'm working on it. Just all these problems for nothing. Oh, one other one I thought, which I really can't say on YouTube, but I'll have to bowdlerize what I'm going to say, is, you know what? I've had enough of that. The wife and I have been thinking about moving to Florida. Now we're moving. And we're selling to insert whatever you like right there. I won't say anything. So I thought that was a good one to use also. So let me know which one you think would work. And let me know what you think about all this. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.